prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need
Okay, we have this evening with us Mr. Phil Worster is our engineer, Debbie McBreen is our council secretary, Ken Farrell is our solicitor, assistant solicitor, and Mr. Joe Pizzo is here, our solicitor. We have Michelle Benitez, our council member, Joe Polari, council member, and Stacy Champion, council member. And we should have Ed. So Ed coming in now. Ed Kisselback is also here. Okay, we have public comment, limited to agenda items only. There will be a time to speak on each agenda item. Mr. Pizzo, how you doing? You settled in there?
All settled in, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda? I think we had a couple items that were being removed.
Yes, earlier this evening, I received a phone call and a subsequent email from council for item number 11, which is the 1186 Byberry Road. They're requesting that the matter be tabled to the council meeting of December 8. That request is premised on the fact that the fire marshal review letter, which council obviously would want to have in place prior to moving forward with this evening's hearing, they had not received the follow-up review letter from the fire marshal. They didn't receive it because there were still things that the fire marshal was waiting for from them. So my understanding from their attorney is those items will be submitted to the fire marshal tomorrow. The hopes are that the fire marshal review will be issued prior to the December 8 meeting, and they're therefore asking that the matter be tabled to the meeting of December 8.
Okay.
They've also granted the township an extension of time under the MPC for the consideration of the application through to and including December 31 of this year.
Okay, and in review, I saw that number 10 looks like it also asked to be requested to move to the 8th. I think there was a letter in our packet, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I have it here, thank you. And then secondly, on item number 10, which is the lot line change for Chuang and Dawson on Lincolnia Avenue, correspondence came in to the township requesting, due to a scheduling conflict with the engineer, that the hearing be continued to the council meeting of December 8 as well. So those both items 10 and 11, we have requests that they be continued to council's agenda of December 8.
Okay, so does someone want to make a motion that we move the number 10 to a date certain of December 8th?
I'll make
a motion that we move both of them, number 10 and number 11, to December 8th.
Okay, and we can do both at the same time, right, Joe? Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay. So we have 10 and 11 we just discussed, both moved to a date certain of December 8th, 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor? You got a second? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay, so those items are both moved. Okay, approval, number 4, approval of council minutes for October 27th, Does anybody have any changes to the minutes? Does anybody have any changes
No,
to
I'm
the?
sorry, I don't have any changes.
Okay, any changes? No. Okay, hearing no changes to the minutes, I didn't see any myself. Does someone put a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll put a motion up to accept the minutes as presented for Monday, October 27th.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any against?
Abstain.
And one abstain. Okay, so we have 401. Okay, so the minutes are accepted. All right, consideration of 2025 Community Development Block Grant Program, number 5 on the agenda. John, I knew there was a reason you were here.
Here for a few tonight. Yes, so in front of everyone is a memo from the mayor. We have received our 2025 Community Block Grant Program for the upcoming year. The expected amount that we're going to receive is $426,178. And then there is a program listing along with that memo summarizing what we're intending on using it for. Again, we're going to do the curb cut program, support the family support services in Langhorne, Levittown.
Homeless shelter, right?
Yep, the homeless shelter. We have money in there for housing rehab for any individuals that are low to moderate income to apply for. We have some renovations we need to do to the senior center, and then obviously program administration, which is the administrative costs to run the program by the township staff.
Okay, and there's a note there that all the money's going to be used for low or moderate income persons, right?
Correct.
As presented. Okay, is there a motion to accept this grant, 2025 Community Development Block Grant Program?
I'll make the motion to accept.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any against? Okay, so that's good. Okay, number 6 on the agenda, consideration of an ordinance amending Part 1 Administrative Legislation, Chapter 2. This is something you're handling again?
Yes.
Okay, by the time I read the title, you might as well tell us. what it
Sure.
is. Okay.
So all of these articles and chapters are all dealing with the residency requirement for township employees. As we have spoken throughout the years, we continue to have an issue trying to get qualified individuals being able to work for the township, and the requirement of having them have to live in the township creates an undue burden on us trying to find the qualified people. Right now, the ordinance presented in front of you will modify the ordinance to give a 12-mile radius from a border of the township, which is consistent with what our police department has, as well as regularly we surveyed multiple municipalities throughout the Bucks County and beyond, and no one really has residency ordinances for any of their working staff. So we ask that you would take it under advisement and allow us to better the township.
Oh, so this affects all the departments besides the police?
Yeah, the police already are able to live outside the township, so this would be Public Works, the administrative staff, and the office union.
Because we were short on public works people, right?
Yes, yeah, and especially with Public Works having to have the CDL and the mandate that the in-house training that we have to do for CDL drivers now, getting someone to come here with a CDL and having to move into the township, it's just not it's not.
And
a
then within
situation.
12 miles, so they can still get here, though?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so-
obviously with Public Works, when we know it's going to snow, we're either holding them over or we're telling them you have to be back by a certain time or whatever. So unless we get inundated out of nowhere, that would be the only issue.
Okay. All right, is there any questions for John from any of the council members?
No, I appreciate the fact that you did go out and survey, because that was one of my questions and I do know people who have worked in the township and had to leave and go find another job because they were no longer, and they were good assets to our township.
Yes.
So they brought in good experience, so.
I believe that when you're doing this, you should make it a point to hire Bensalem residents first.
Yeah.
It depends on the quality. I mean, if it's one step out of five that
Certainly.
they don't go for,
Yes.
you should keep that in consideration, because Bensalem taxpayers are paying, they should have the ability to have these jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Agree with that, too.
I agree too. That's a good point. We talked about that too. That
Yes.
They still get,
But to ensure that we
First
have
priority.
quality services for our township, we have to
Absolutely.
be able to be a little bit more pliable or
okay. If there's any other questions for John? If not, does someone make a motion that we accept the ordinance?
Make the motion that we accept the ordinance as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Any abstains? Okay, so we're good.
Mr. Pizzo, do any of these have to go to the public, further public
Does
comment?
this ordinance have
Before we
to?
approve them?
Yes, the ordinance should
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask-
invite public comment.
Yeah, thanks,
for that.
Joe. Does anybody want to speak for or against this ordinance before we move on? Anybody come forward? Okay, no one come forward? Okay, so we had a first and second vote. Should we vote again, Joe? Are we okay? Okay,
That's fine.
okay, thanks, Joe. All right, number 7 on the agenda is consideration of a resolution requiring a statewide local share account. Okay, so you want to
Yes.
explain this one, John?
Yeah, so the statewide local share account has opened up, and we are intending, with council's approval, to submit a grant for approximately $99,000, $98,982, to add a Plymovent magnetic grabber for our fire truck. So basically, it's, what's that? The Plymovent Top Grade Magnetic Grabber Emergency Vehicle Exhaust Extraction System. And
Can you explain that?
An ultimate
yeah, so
airborne
what that
mitigation.
basically does is, it is a hose with an exhaust system that when the fire truck will park inside the house, or inside the garage, the hose hooks up to the exhaust, so the exhaust isn't coming into the garage itself. It will be then exhausted out through the rooftop, and then when they pull away, it automatically detaches. They don't have to get out and pull it off or anything like
Is there a
that.
specific station it's going for? Is there going to be one in each of the stations that still might be open?
This is actually for the new apparatus parking garage that we built over at Public Works. It's where the fire truck is housed now, the township's fire truck.
That's what will be kept.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So this resolution basically designates the mayor and/or myself to be able to execute the documents should we be awarded the grant.
So
And if
we're
we're,
putting that in the paid guys' trucks, but we're not putting it in the stations where volunteer guys are still working? Is that what I
I
understand?
believe some of the volunteer stations already have them.
And it's only if we get the grant, right?
And it's only if we get the grant, correct?
Okay. Is there any questions from, this is the mayor that signs
So
it.
do we currently have some sort of ventilation in there?
Yeah,
for
so
that?
there's an exhaust system in there now, and obviously they leave the bay doors open when they pull the truck in and it's cooling off. But this would just eliminate that type of, if we
Just
wouldn't
more
have to do
safety.
that, basically.
Conscious of our,
And I'd like to know if the other stations have them, and I'd like to know what our goal is with the fire stations, because I don't know what stations are still open, what stations aren't still open, what's going on. I don't think council was ever made aware of all that and what's going on, what protections we have for the residents of Bensalem.
Sure.
And I think that's something that you should have for council, our next meeting, with an explanation with all that of what's covered, what's not covered, what stations are open, how much manpower do we have now that we had before and what we have now, so we can see what the difference is there. I'd like to have that all at our next meeting, please.
No problem, I'll make sure you have something.
Thank you.
How much is the total cost of this system?
It's not, so this is a 100% matching grant,
Matching,
so there's no
perfect.
match required from us. I apologize.
Thank you.
It's a 100% paid grant, there's no match required from us. So the cost for the system and the plumbing would be the $98,000.
so I do have one more question. I don't know if Mr. Farrell can answer this. So it's a requirement for all the firehouses to have some sort of ventilation for something in terms of what you're saying?
Yes,
For that?
Yes.
Or garages in general even? even mechanical garages, regular. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other questions? So this is a grant, and hopefully we do receive it, and it's a piece of equipment we could use. So is there any other questions? If not, someone put a motion forward that we approve this resolution.
I'll put a motion on the floor that we
I don't think
accept
we
this
need-
as presented.
We don't need a public comment for a resolution.
No, we do not.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I'll second
Okay.
that motion.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay, that's good.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Okay. Okay. Okay, number 8 on the agenda is consideration of a resolution with removing some deed restrictions from what used to be the State Police Barracks property. Joe, do you want to explain this, or we kind of asked questions about this during the day we had called?
Certainly. This resolution regards the former State Police Barracks property up on Neshaminy Boulevard. At the time that the township conveyed the property, as some of you may remember, the township, when the state police, or when the Commonwealth removed the state police from that facility and ultimately moved them across the street, the Commonwealth deeded the property over to the township. The township subsequently went through the process with the County Redevelopment Authority of finding a purchaser for the property, and the purchaser was an entity called Lifestyle Real Estate. Their intention at the time was to construct a fairly sizable medical office building on that property. As part of the conveyance, at the time, the township included a deed restriction which limited the use of the property for the 5-year period immediately following the conveyance, limiting it essentially to the use for which it was being sold. That was back in 2013. The 5-year period has now since lapsed, and the property owner is asking that the deed restriction, since the time for it has since passed, that the deed restriction be removed from the deed, thereby removing any cloud from the title to the property. So this resolution would effectively authorize the removal of that restriction for the property, the time applicable to it having now long since passed.
Okay, but anything they would need to do to make an improvement to the property, they would have to come in front of us and apply with the township.
That's correct. The property remains zoned business professional, which is consistent with the zoning that was put on it at the time that the medical office facility was first proposed, and any future use of the property would require an application to the township for land development approval prior to any use being put into place.
Okay.
So whatever restrictions and benefits of business professional would be applied to this property.
That's correct.
So in simple terms, the deed restriction has expired, and we're just cleaning this up.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Pizzo,
Yes, sir.
has anyone looking to move into this property, or is there somebody, a reason we're doing this because there's a specific company coming in or somebody's looking to do something?
Nothing that I'm aware of. The current property owner made the township aware of the fact that the deed restriction's still there and is out of time. Unfortunately, the original plan for the medical office building fell through due to financing problems during COVID. And so the property at this point is in search of a viable use. But no, I'm not aware of anything that's looking to come in at the moment, Mr. Polari.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Okay, and everybody had a lot of questions about this because it is a little confusing, but it's, legal terms. But It looks like we're just cleaning this up so they have a clean title to be able to get financing or whatever they need to try to do.
Correct.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions?
No, I think Mr. Pizzo cleared everything up.
Okay, good.
And Ms. Benita is also making it plain and simple
Yep.
English for those who, who are watching.
Okay, so does anybody want to make a motion for this as a resolution, so we're okay? So does anybody want to make a motion? There's no other questions in reference to approving this resolution as presented?
Make the motion to approve Agenda Item 8, resolution removing the deed restrictions. I'm not seeing a tax parcel, oh, sorry, on tax map parcel number 02-001-036-001, as explained and presented by Mr. Pizzo.
Okay, that's good enough, Mr. Pizzo? That's good?
Yes.
Okay. And then is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstains? Okay, so we're good. Okay, thank you. Okay, number 9 on the agenda is approval of a settlement stipulation regarding land use appeal of Francis Bidding. It's the property at 2183 Dunksbury Road. Mr. Pizzo, you have this also?
Yes, as you just stated, this is for a property located at 2183 Dunksbury Road. As council may be aware, this is a property that is dual frontage on Dunksbury and on Brown Avenue. The property owner appeared before the zoning hearing board seeking several variances that would allow for the property to be subdivided into 2 lots rather than one dual frontage lot. The zoning hearing board at the time granted some of those variances, but not all of them, and the property owner appealed that decision up to Commonwealth Court. In reviewing the matter with the administration, with the zoning hearing board solicitor, and with the attorney for the applicant, it was the considered opinion of everyone that the costs involved in moving forward with the appeal certainly weren't warrantive of the variances being requested. Similarly, the property owners that were in proximity to the property all appeared at the zoning hearing board in favor of the variances. And so we appeared before the judge several weeks ago. It was agreed that a stipulation would be entered into among and between the property owner, the township, and the zoning hearing board, and that would be entered as an order of court upon approval by the township and by the zoning hearing board. So that stipulation is before you this evening for your consideration and approval.
Okay. And we had looked at this and gone over it, but
The end result of this would not be a subdivision of the property. The subdivision application would still have to come before the township. This would just deal with the variances that were not granted at the time of the zoning hearing.
and then if the subdivision's approved, he would have his original house on Dunksbury, which has a driveway on Dunksbury, and then he would have a separate lot on Brown at the back of the lot, right?
That's correct.
Right.
Is
Okay.
Is the new property, is that the larger property or the smaller property?
Yes.
Which one? Okay, lot 2 would be the larger.
I believe so.
Thank you,
Yep.
Solicitor Associate.
Okay, is there any other questions from council in reference to this?
So, Mr. Pizzo, it looks like what will be Lot 1 on Dunksbury Road already has a non-conforming front yard setback of 14 feet.
That's
where
correct.
normally is 24, so that's already a non-conforming zoning, which is not necessarily hugely concerning, given the age of all the property there. And then the side yard setbacks for Lot 1 also seem to be also pre-existing non-conforming.
That's correct.
And then the backyard setback is fine. I don't see any issues on that here from the house to the new lot line for Lot 1.
And the lot dimensions are consistent with most of the lots that
In the
surround this
neighborhood,
particular
yeah.
property.
And the proposed house that's being built is being built within pretty much all of the
That's
existing
correct,
setbacks.
and within the existing setback envelope.
Okay, should we have public comment on this, Joe, or?
It can't hurt.
Okay. Would anybody like to come and speak for or against this stipulation from the court? Okay, seeing no one come forward, there's no other questions. Does anybody want to put a motion forward to approve this agreement?
I'll put it forward a motion to accept agenda item number 9, which is the settlement stipulation, and this is regarding tax map parcel -02-039-152, as presented to us, and this is for the Francis bidding appeal.
Okay. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Any abstains? Okay, that's good. Okay. And as we had discussed, number 10 on the agenda was moved to a date certain. That was a lot line change on Lanconia Avenue to December 8th. And then also the consideration of land development at 1186 Byberry Road to a date certain of December 8th. Okay, next on the agenda is consideration of preliminary and final development for Muhammad Farms LP, care of Kareem Patel. We have a representation here.
Good evening.
Dennis, how you doing?
Mike McGinnis from Begley Carlin here on behalf of Mataram Farms LP and Kieran Patel. I have Larry Young with me to my right. He's uploading the plan, which will be before you for consideration this evening. And as you can see, it is a very irregularly shaped lot at the intersection of Galloway and Richelieu Road. The property, in terms of gross acreage, measures approximately 1.72 acres. It is currently zoned in the R1 district and is vacant. There were a number of variances that were granted years ago to facilitate the development, which we have before you for consideration this evening. This has been in the works for a number of years. We have been working with the township and Phil's team to attempt primarily to ensure what I would say is pedestrian safety with this proposal, and that is to construct a 6,200 square foot new structure which would provide consumer retail services here. Because, as you can see, the lot is incredibly oddly configured and at the intersection of two busy thoroughfares, there was back and forth about how we honor the request that occurs with a lot of land developments to have sidewalk and pedestrian connectivity, but also not encourage unsafe pedestrian maneuvers. And Larry, if you want to flip to the plan. So one of the waivers, and I'm going to cut ahead here, I guess, as a preview of coming events, is a partial waiver with respect to sidewalk installation. And the sidewalk installation was as a result of trying to figure out what the best maneuvering would be for somebody who was accessing this lot by foot. So you have what is a little bit of a, I think hopefully a creative solution here, because we did not want to just have sidewalks that were running exactly parallel to the roadway. What we did, though, is we created an internal path of an internal sidewalk system, which is to the rear, the plan north of this lot, and then you see it sort of traverses the parking field, and then it runs through the edge of the building, and then it goes to the plan south in the area that Larry's depicting, which then would create a safe maneuver into the intersection, into the island in the intersection, instead of what we thought would be a more hazardous condition if we had sidewalks all along the outside. So we'd spent a while working with WK2 to come up with this plan, which we think is a much better plan and a much safer plan for pedestrians. And we also wanted to work with the fire marshal to make sure that we were compliant with the fire marshal's request and have adequate fire lane to the front of the building, which we did, which caused a slight reconfiguring of the parking layout.
And that does make the crossing from the park to the sidewalk, right, at the entrance. There's a crossing.
There's a
Across
crosswalk.
Rich Lou.
At the light.
Right, at the
there.
light,
Yeah,
right.
so they would have to come back this way and come across, and then the park is back here.
They could cross at a crossing at a light and then enter a sidewalk that goes onto the property.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
So those,
Is
So-
that just on the right side of the building, the sidewalk that you
Yeah,
improvised?
there is a sidewalk that would take, if you know what Galloway Road looks like, it has a big shoulder out there. And we have a sidewalk leading along this northern side of our property from the Galloway side to the Richloo side. So they would cross over through here, not through our parking lot. And then there's a crosswalk down through our driveway entrance.
and then you might not be able to see it due to the color depiction here, but then it runs along the edge of the building to the right as well. So it traverses the entirety of the parking lot. And that was really primarily what we've been working on since this was presented a while ago at this point to the Planning Commission. That was raised as the predominant concern, as well as wanting to address the fire marshal comments. So we ended up making the plan revisions, and we resubmitted the plan to the township, got new review letters, and in tandem with that, we've obviously done our best to maintain as much green space as you can see on this property that we could do while still facilitating the construction of the building that was always envisioned and maintaining the minimum parking which is required based upon zoning. So we have the green space that sort of runs around the exterior of the property, and then we have our stormwater design, which Larry can get into in a second. But as you can see on the review letter from the township, the end result of this development would be a reduction from the 1 year all the way up to the 100-year storm in terms of post-development flow as opposed to pre-development flow. Everything else in the review letters that have been issued from WK2 are will complies. We have 5 what I think are fairly straightforward waiver requests, which we can detail in a second. But what I'd like to do is have Larry just provide a little extra context for the plan, and then we're happy to go through the waivers and answer any questions that you have. I appreciate it.
So the existing site is mostly wood, well, the darker greens are woods. The high grasses are out there. PennDOT did a lot of takings of the right-of-way along that intersection for what they did, it's probably 8 years ago or 6 years ago, something like that. So the property slopes from north to south, basically towards that point, the intersection there. And what we did was we have a underground basin that is in a lighter blue underneath the parking lot, and it's quite large only because of the soils were not the greatest out there. And we have a minimum release control basin, which has an opening about that big to let the flow out of. So, and there's a system, storm system that comes back this way and connects to the 3 or 4 inlets at the intersection that's PennDOT, in PennDOT's right of way.
So, Mr. Worsta, I know that we had issues over at the Faith Unity. Is this the same type of thing that where he was talking about, where the soil consistency and stuff they found across the street in the same property? Because they were having issues with their stormwater management and took a while for that. So they've learned, in a sense?
I can't say it's specifically the
But you would
same
expect
type of
it to
soil,
be.
but it's the same rectification of that by going with underground tanks.
Yeah, because it took a while for Faith
Yes.
Unity to finally get it,
Yes,
so.
that was a change during construction for Faith Unity, and
Yes.
this one was a lesson learned.
Yes. It would make sense as they're
They're right next.
They're right there.
Okay, and can you talk about, because the front entrance to the stores, the 3 stores,
Yeah.
will be facing the parking lot, okay? So,
Right.
but the facade of the back is going to be presented like the front of a building, or like somehow, it's not going to be the back of a building with trash cans and stuff facing the corner. Yeah, the roadway.
The trash cans are going to be in this dumpster area.
Right.
Location.
Enclosed.
And then
Yeah, enclosed.
the back of the building, which is at the corner of Galloway and
Right.
Richelieu,
Right.
is going to have what kind of facade, and it's going to have shrubbery, and what are you doing to make it look like a
So
decent building? from
I
that
will
view?
volunteer that one of the things that separates a little bit with this application, I think provides the township staff a little bit greater discretion when it comes to architectural design to make sure, obviously this is the land development and it's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with square boxes on it. But before a shovel is put in the ground, I think one of the items that was originally presented or discussed by the zoning hearing board was to make sure that the architectural design was sufficient to the township staff before building permits were issued. And that predated our involvement, but it's something that we would end up, this is for the land development, but we would end up providing documentation of what this would look like to make sure the township was comfortable that the design, Mr. Knowles, as you say, is going to be in keeping with the surrounding community and appropriate for this site.
And who would be approving the back of the building?
Well, I'll defer to Mr. Pizzo on that, but we're willing to have
Can
that
I also
handled
ask a
however.
question, Mr. Pizzo? Can we ask now that it is more in keeping with something, if you're going up to Richborough, or say the Irish Horn is, or one of them, that it looks more like that than a strip mall?
Yeah, I absolutely can say in
Something in
speaking
terms
with
of that.
Mr.
We would
Patel, he's
prefer
not-
that as a
yeah.
township, to have it something that looks like it has been here, rather than
Right.
either a 21st century metal
Yeah.
thing that's rather ugly, or, a 1970s, we have enough 1970s strip malls in this township.
And I think one
From
of
other
the,
people.
one of the specific conditions, Ms. Champion, of the zoning decision, I believe, is that there's no flat roof on this, for example. So that provides, I think, extra assurance that you're going to get a more appropriate
And
design.
how high is it again?
It's,
It's less than 35 feet.
And how many floors? Just one?
no, it has, the way it's designed has 2 floors, but the second floor is not going to be occupied by tenants. That was also one of the things that was agreed upon, and that we'll certainly honor, and it's an enforceable
That'll be
condition.
in that'll be in the deed, that it's not rentable then, also?
Well, we
Is
can
that
have it documented however the township wants. I
So
don't,
in the design, you're going to submit several different renderings for us to approve, is that correct?
we'll submit architectural renderings for the township to bless. I don't know the number, but the township needs to be satisfied with how the building looks before we can get any permits issued.
So if that's the case, this is a request for preliminary and final. Should we not reconsider that this is a final? Should we just?
Well, they're going to
Just-
get approval from the township. We're going to have to approve. We're not going to go back and look at colors and stuff.
It's going to be an A-frame roof, so you're almost.
So it'll look more
guaranteed
federal style or
it's
something
not
like that is really the
like-
request.
Yeah,
Something-
there was, I don't have this digitally, but one of the concepts that was presented, if I can walk up back in the day.
Thank you.
Something along these lines. I just don't want to, that was what was presented to the zoning hearing board previously. So, certainly
That's the parking lot side.
yeah, certainly the intent of it is to be not a strip sheet metal retail.
Yeah, having
center.
grown up behind one that needs work
Right.
is, something.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
Would the second
Sort of
floor be something available for community space? Do you know?
I think,
Probably storage.
Consistent
Yeah.
with what was done or represented at the time of the zoning, and I think as part of the approval, is that the second floors are to be space that is used by the retail uses below for offices, storage, things of that nature. So
Okay.
they were not to be separate rental spaces, separate apartments, separate stores up there, that was supposed to be second floor space for the uses below.
Yeah, and we can deed restrict that. I think the concern, and again, we didn't do the presentation, but my understanding is the concern at the time was understanding that there's not a lot to do with this property. It's the only R1 zone property in the area. So it seemed to make sense for there to be a commercial use, but because of the acknowledgement of the site constraints, there's going to be a limited number of parking spots here, and the vast majority of these developments are built in a semi-speculative manner at least, and you don't want to have, you might have a 6,200 square foot footprint. You don't want to have that become 12,000 square feet of space that's rented, trying to fit that into the parking field, as you can see on the plan. So that's something that we're not going to utilize that for third-party purposes. That can be deed restricted, it can be enforced however the township wants. We have no problem with that.
I think you really did utilize a lot of the space that, we've had things come in front of us that, for this particular property, that were like packing a lot in there, you know what I mean? So I think you really did a pretty nice job making it useful and presentable and plenty of parking
Do you
too.
have any potential tenants at this point in time?
So I know Mr. Patel in other jurisdictions operates a UPS, he operates Battery Plus. I think he's looking at community stores like that I know he's planning, at least in part of it, for there to be an owner-operator component to this. I know he thinks there's optimism with the apartments to the plan north, and that's partially why you see the pedestrian connectivity, that it would be something that would be used by the people who live there, but he's finalizing all of that still. It has to be in compliance with the zoning.
Regarding the aesthetics, and now I want to go back to this again, because I know you're cooperating with this, but I want you to understand that we don't want the back of the building to look like the back of a building, because it's on the corner, which is going to be facing everyone. So in the architectural design of it, that's got to be something that almost looks like the front of the building, yet not give the conception that people can walk in there, because that is not going to be where the traffic's going. So do you understand that part of the aspect of it?
Yeah,
I think I'm talking to your engineer more than you, actually.
The back of the building, back here, is more for deliveries. And they're going to have a door, just like the front door on the building. The loading is over here, and the only loading that he's going to have, it's not going to be tractor trailers, it's going to be the UPS trucks like that, single unit trucks.
Small box trucks.
Yeah, box trucks. So we're thinking either they would come in the front door and deliver, or this sidewalk does wrap around the back, and they would come out into the back of the facility,
All right.
but the back.
Well, that's
Well,
good,
well,
and
that's
in
good.
that,
We
then
don't-
you
we
will
don't
have
want
some type
trash.
of a doorway there. It just won't look like a back
I think-
steel door, period.
Right,
It will
right.
look, okay, pleasing. That's what I was wondering. Okay. What's that?
And he can put signage up to say, not for customers, entry by customers or
Yeah.
something.
I'm more concerned when people driving by there.
Yeah,
in-
looking
in
at
a-
it
in a
from
quick type
Richland
manner.
Fields and stuff, we just don't want to drive by, because we get stuck with situations where people putting dumpsters on the corner, or
Yeah.
next to a bus stop or something, but we don't want dumpsters running along the back of a building that's on the corner.
Right, and what I would say, to just put a fine point to this, a lot of times there's questions about what architectural regulations council can put in place on projects. This is not that scenario, because there is already an enforceable zoning condition. It's no different than any other project that goes to the zoning hearing board that has conditions that attach to it. The township already has an enforcement mechanism by virtue of the 2018 zoning application, and the condition that architecturally this will be suitable to the township or in keeping with design standards. So I don't think, obviously I'm biased with this, but I don't think there's a concern regarding, well, what if there's non-compliance? because the township already has an enforcement mechanism today, right now, based on the way the zoning was approved with the original application.
Okay, so you probably understand now if you didn't before, you know what I mean? So,
And so consistent with all of that, one of the conditions of tonight's approval will be, as Mr. McGinnis represented previously, but I would imagine one of the conditions will be that the applicant will, that the project, if approved, will be subject to township review and approval of the building elevations
Right.
for both sides, both the side facing the parking lot and the side facing the intersection of Galloway and Richelieu, and that those elevations will be consistent with the concept elevation that was presented to the zoning hearing board back in 2018.
Yeah, I think the specific language, Mr. Pizzo, was that appellants proposed to construct a building substantially similar in architectural style. So if we want to mirror that language, I think that's consistent with the record that already attaches to this property.
okay.
And then the council, and then the township will have the ability to sign off on that. That'll be put into the developer agreements. And before building permits are issued, there will be an agreement on the final building elevations.
That's agreeable and
And Mr.
consistent.
Pizzo, I'm just going to be ask this question, but I know the answer because I've said it multiple times. There's no way a vape shop can go in this building because it is not zoned light industrial, and we changed that in 2022. Before anybody goes on social media to create a firestorm that we were putting retail shops.
That would be correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, UPS would be perfect there, actually, you know? Okay, so I just wanted to mention in the letter review, which is dated July 31st, 2025, there's an impact fee that was determined at $35,675.64. So you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So if there's no other questions, you want to go through the waivers that you still
Sure.
are asking for?
Yes, and they are referenced on page
So page 5 and 6?
Yeah, 5 and 6 of the WK2 review. The first waiver request is to permit simultaneous submission of preliminary final land development.
Okay.
The second waiver request is from providing sidewalk along all abutting streets, except when, in the opinion of council, with advice of the township engineer and planning commission, they are unnecessary for public safety and convenience. As noted, whether this is couched as a full or partial waiver, we do have some sidewalks and pedestrian connectivity, but we don't, strictly speaking, comply with that section, so it's a waiver request. The third is a existing features waiver request to not have to provide existing features and utilities within 400 feet of boundaries of the property. The fourth waiver request is to permit grading within 3 feet of a property line, and I think as noted, that's supposed to make sure that the stormwater runoff is directed to the underground stormwater facilities and other appropriate stormwater measures. And then lastly, so waiver requests that council, I think, has been seeing with a lot of applications to permit HDPE piping in lieu of RCP piping. Everything else is will comply in the WK2 civil and traffic engineering letters.
Okay, Mr. Worcester, will there be a termination of, like, they provided some sidewalks, but they didn't provide all the sidewalks and curbs that they would normally have to provide? So there'll be a fee in lieu of the,
Yes, they did
of the
work
different?
with us with regard to the pathway through the site.
Right.
And they worked with us diligently through this whole process, and I must say that they're commending them with regard to their diligence and listening to us with regard to stormwater and everything. It's been a long project, and they've
Yeah.
really
For a small piece of land,
Yeah, for a small
Yeah.
piece of land.
which is good.
I think
I
just
appreciate
the,
that.
just the sidewalk going across, there's probably more sidewalk on this plan than would
Be
normally
Okay.
if it parallels
I can
the
believe it,
road.
there's a lot of sidewalk there. Okay, that's good, that's fine, I just was going to ask the question.
Mr. Worcester, what's your opinion on the number 3 waiver request?
That's the existing features one.
It's existing conforming.
Same question.
We had, we have an aerial in the back of the plan, sheet 19, that typically satisfies we can't go onto private property. So that's hard to get 500 feet around because people just don't let you walk through their property. So we got an aerial, and that seems to suffice in many municipalities at that point. We've been talking to PennDOT. We know, we have PennDOT plans. We know where everything is out there. We have extensive talks with Bucks County Water and Sewer because there's a main coming down that road that we're connecting into, both water and sewer on Rich Loop.
Okay, because this is a normal thing we sometimes do, but let
Yeah.
Mr.
Yes,
Worth
this
answer.
Thank you.
This is typical of what we've been doing
Okay.
for years, and we're relying on these engineers and making sure that they have the right information on those plans, so, and they do in this case.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Is there anything, any other questions from
Yes, I have
council?
one other question. The last approved letter from the fire department is dated June 19th, 2025. There have been some changes. Anything that I'm missing from the time of June 2025 to the present?
The major change was, we used to have parking all along the front here.
Okay.
There's a fire lane right there now, right in front of the building. So it kind of took us from, I think, 48 spots down to
37.
36, and that's enough. We do have an email from your fire marshal, and we satisfied him way back in April of 2024. So there.
Because the review
Right.
letters from July.
Yeah.
Well, this review letter is June 2025, and I want to note it is approved.
Yeah.
There is just a note around the no parking area in front of a proposed hydrant. But otherwise, it is
Correct.
approved, so I don't have issue with that. I just want to make sure that there hasn't been any significant further development
No.
between June and
No.
now that would,
It's mostly
negate
been
that.
talking to PennDOT back and forth, putting curbs in.
Okay.
Along the two roads and things like that.
thank you.
So,
Okay, and you talked about the water being less, okay, in every case, okay? So is there any other questions from council? If not, we can see if there's any public comment about this. Is there anybody who would like to come forward to speak for or against this project? Okay, seeing no one come forward. If there's any other questions that anybody has, if not, does someone want to make a proposal that we approve this preliminary and final land development for, this project's been going on for a long time here, for Corinne Patel at Galloway and Richelieu Roads?
I'll put a motion on the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we approve the preliminary and final development of Madhuram Farms LP, care of Karen Patel. Zoning classification is R1, tax map parcel 02-046-001. And this is for retail office use. The property is the actual site area to be used is 1.1 acres, even though the property is actually larger, 1.72. And regarding the letter of WK2 dated July 31st, let me take this one thing at a time. There is an impact fee of $35,000 plus that the applicant, $35,675.64. The applicant has agreed to pay that. Let me turn the page here. And on to, we'll go, the zoning regulations have been approved by the zoning board, contained in this letter. Also, when we go to the waivers that are requested, I'm going to go to page 5 of 6 pages, if I can get there. Excuse me, I lost it. It should be page 5, right?
Yeah, page 5 of 6. The bottom of page 5.
Yeah, exactly. One more after the one more. There it
There
is.
he
I
goes.
went as far as that also, to tell you the truth. Okay, the requested waivers are as follows. Number one, section 201-43-C-5, and that's for preliminary and final development to be approved by the council. Waiver number two is section 201-104B-(1), and that's regarding the sidewalks. The applicant has provided sidewalks in an unusual fashion, but it meets the requirements of the township. If there's any difference between the linear footage and that's required as a normal sidewalk and curbing would be, there would be a amount of money due in lieu of. If not, that would be equal to what's being done in terms of the actual construction of the sidewalks. And as well as number three, section 201-41-D-9, and that's the taking of the aerial photo to show the enhancement of the different areas and the different existing lines, water lines, fire hydrants and such. That should be accepted by the council. Number four would be 201-106A2-6, and that's for the grading of the 3-feet property line to ensure stormwater runoff is directed to the best management practices. And number five, section 196-61A, and that's and this is fairly normal to allow the HDPE pipe instead of the reinforced concrete. That's going to be used in that respect. The stormwater management has been presented to us, and it's favorable in terms of having less flow in the 100-year program from 6.37 CFSs to 2.85, which is pretty remarkable for a 100-year flood. And for the 1-year flood, I'll take you from 1.16 CFSs to 0.74, which is also very good. In between there, we have the 50-year, 25, 10-year, 5-year, and 2-year design flood calculations also. Basically, that's it. Joseph, do you think I need anything else on there?
I would mention that, again, you're referencing the WK2 review letter of July 31, 2025. The applicant will comply with all of the conditions set forth therein. The applicant will also comply with all of the conditions set forth in the July 31, 2025 traffic review letter of WK2. The applicant will comply with the conditions of the June 19, 2025 fire marshal review, with the November 12, 1994 Township Traffic Safety Review, the April 21, 2025 Traffic Impact Fee Review, and consistent with the discussions this evening, it should be noted that the appropriate protections will be put into place to make sure that the building elevations are provided to the township consistent with the zoning approval and with the elevation identified as concept elevation 3 for the Galloway Road Retail Center prepared by Stamfel Associates that was presented to the zoning hearing board in 2018, and that the township will approve the building elevations for both the north and south sides of the building. Those would be the sides that face the parking lot and the side that face the intersection of Galloway and Richelieu, and that those approvals will be obtained and granted prior to the application for building permit approval. Finally, it should be noted, I think again in the zoning approvals, but it should be noted that the second floors are not intended to be separately rented, but rather to be used in concert with the retail uses on the first floors below them. Other than that, I believe that's what you wanted included in the motion as well, Mr.
Yeah, especially
Kisselback?
the elevations, that was the main thing, exactly.
Okay,
Correct, that's the motion.
okay, thank you, Ed. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Champion, second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Okay. All right, good job.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. It's a long haul there, you're gonna put something nice there. Be nice if the people in the Thunder Hollow can use it
Hopefully
too.
they clean it up with all the,
Yeah, it's a bunch of, looks bad.
well, they have the dumpsters there all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And the trash. Something has to be done.
It's not good.
But I know they say it's construction.
Okay, number 13, consideration of resolution for Act 537, the Sewage Facilities Act for 1977 Byberry Road. Mr. Pizzo, do you have this?
Yes, I do. As you mentioned, Mr. Knowles, is for the property at 1977 Byberry Road. As council is aware, you previously approved land development approval for this property. As part of the conditions of approval, the applicant is required to get approvals from the Philadelphia Water Department, the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for their sewage planning and their sewage facilities for the project. In order to effectuate that, before you this evening is a resolution for amendment of the Township's Act 537 plan consistent with the sewage facilities which have been reviewed and approved by the Township, the Philadelphia Water Department, the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The resolution is in the form required by and acceptable to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, and it is recommended for your approval this evening.
I have a question, Mr. Pizzo.
Yes.
Sorry. So this was approved back in 2009 and was recorded on 2010. And I see that Mr. Farrell has a note on here about now constructing the homes 15 years later. Is this the normal process to do the sewer extension for that if we're still in the review and approval process? Because the note's on here that since our ordinances have been updated, the developer must have the plans reviewed by our engineers and update the plans for current regulations. This includes new permits and approvals. So I don't know where it stands with that. And I'm wondering in the timeline of doing these types of Act 37, if it's appropriate.
It is. Again, the approvals are conditioned upon obtaining and securing the approvals of the various third-party approval agencies, all of which I just identified in the earlier discussion. So at this point, what I believe Mr. Farrell has suggested is that because of the amount of time that has passed, the township engineer would review the plans to make sure that they comply with current regulations, but the sewage facilities plans, again, would be among them, and at this point, those sewage facilities plans have been signed off on by all of the various entities, inclling the township. So
Okay.
these are in
Just trying to
place
understand it,
for
given the note
consideration and
on the
approval
bottom.
this evening.
So if there was an issue with the development itself, with Ken's office, it wouldn't have, just because they got the sewer approval doesn't mean anything.
That's
I
correct.
just want to make sure that that's clear.
Yeah, just that they have
Just
permission.
because of the note on
They have
this.
permission to connect the sewer if
Yeah.
they get
If they get the approval. I just want to be sure because looking at the
No, it's
note
good.
to,
No,
Make it known to everybody else.
largely the review is to make sure that adequate capacity exists in the collection, transportation, and treatment facilities at the various levels of government that I identified. So that's largely what the Act 537 planning
Yeah,
is
they
involved
gotta pay a lot
with,
of
to make
money.
sure that there's
Which is
adequate
crazy.
capacity
Yep.
in all of those facilities.
that's why they built
Yep.
$700,000 homes now.
Okay, so it's a resolution, so we're okay. Any other questions from council? If not, is there a motion to approve the Act 537 for this properties?
The motion to approve the Act number 537 at 1977 Byberry Road as presented by Mr. Pizzo. Thank you.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstains? Okay, so we're good. Okay, consideration for a property at 2810 Street Road for the same thing. Joe, do you have this also?
Certainly. So unlike the earlier one, which would be for new construction, this application is for existing construction, namely the Showcase Plaza Shopping Center. So in this case, what's happening is a proposed use of a laundromat is looking to go into that center. which, by the way, I would note is a permitted use under the township's zoning for that property, which is general commercial. Because, again, the review under Act 537 is largely a capacity review. In this case, a laundromat is going to use significantly more water and sewer than many other retail uses. And so part of the review here for the new tenant is for the township, the Philadelphia Water Department, Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, and DEP to make sure that adequate capacity exists in their treatment facilities, their collection facilities, but also in the facilities that serve the shopping center as well. So that review has been undertaken, and the resolution is in a form acceptable for your consideration and approval this evening.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so does anybody want to make a motion that we approve the resolution for the Showcase Plaza at potential laundromat at 28 10th Street Road?
I'll put a motion up for Act 537 again for Showcase Plaza on Street Road for a laundromat potential.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Any abstains? Okay, we're good. Okay, so public comment. Does anybody want to come up for public comment? Ken, you're good? Ed, are you good? You're good? Okay. We have Ed Tokmajian and Mr. Joe Wenzel, our elected councilmen, as guests. Okay, so next would be closing public comment, other business. Phil, do you have any business?
No, sir.
Besides that snazzy suit jacket, you don't have any other business going on? Yeah.
Jacket too, right?
I said a snazzy suit jacket. I mean, what do you?
Thank you very
I wasn't being sarcastic. I think it's a nice suit jacket.
My wife picked it out.
Oh, did she? That's good. That's good.
It's not me.
Okay, Deb, do you have anything? No, thank you. Okay, Ken, you okay?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Thank you. Mr. Pizzo?
I share in Mr. Ferris's wishes for a happy Thanksgiving to all of you and to everyone in the community.
Okay, good. Ms. Benitez, do you have anything?
Happy Thanksgiving, go Birds.
Go, oh, go Birds. The resurrection of the Birds. Mr. Plary, do you have anything? No flyers, comments, or anything? You good? Okay. More than a game. It's more.
They died in that second half.
Ms. Champion, do you have any?
Happy Thanksgiving, and if you're out and about on Saturday, I will be at the Bristol Borough Thanksgiving Day Parade. My daughter is the queen of the Delaware River Yachtsman's League, so she's representing.
The Delaware Valley what?
The Delaware River Yachtsman's League.
Oh, Yachtsman.
She's
okay.
representing
Good.
the DRYL and also our family club, where my husband's family has been a member for 55 years.
Do you have a yacht too? Is that-
No, I don't have a yacht. It's a boat club.
Don't
It's
start
a
any,
bunch.
don't even start any rumors.
Another
about it.
rumors?
Stacy Champion yacht. That's all.
No, it's boat club.
Okay.
Trust me, it's boat club. But it's fun. She is the 5th princess and 2nd queen from the Champion family.
That's great.
And
She's
it's
a,
nice.
She's a beautiful young lady.
she's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
young
She
lady.
is beautiful. She's
And she's a good student too. And
she's a great
real
student.
great
She
kid.
has
Great kid.
gotten a presidential scholarship this week from one of her things.
That's
And
great.
yes, and she has yes, go more. I'm looking forward to hear what happens in December.
That's great. It's an exciting time.
It is exciting.
Mr.
Very
Kisselback, do you
proud
have
of it.
anything you
Just
would
a
like
few
to add?
items, just
ahead.
Thanksgiving, November 26th.
Yes.
I think that's about the correct date. December 1st, we have a council meeting. I think it's a budget meeting, is that correct?
Budget, yeah.
December 8th, we have another council meeting, and December 13th is the lighting of the Christmas tree,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
5 o'clock sharp. Don't be late.
It's my last Irish dance. Oh, I do want to say one more thing. Happy anniversary to my husband.
Happy anniversary to my husband.
Yes, it's 19 years.
I saw your wedding pictures. It was interesting. I like your dad's hat.
My dad, he was cowboy.
I know.
Everybody knew him as cowboy.
Nice hat. Joe? you-
Mr. Knowles, I apologize. I don't know if you mentioned at the start of the meeting, but obviously the mayor is not here this evening.
Yeah, I didn't mention that, sorry.
You did or did not?
I
He
did
did
not.
not.
So the mayor had a cataract removed earlier today, and he's recovering from that. So wish him well on his recovery.
I'm sorry, I forgot, I was more concerned about your presence than mayor not being here, but yeah, the mayor
So
had cataract
before you have
surgery.
to
He's
get
doing
between the
fine,
ordinance and the
but he is recovering from
recuperating.
cataract surgery,
Yep.
so he should be good. Ed, do you have another comment you would like to make, or continue your comments? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Am I still on my time?
Yeah,
I wanna-
yes,
I
I'm
wanna resume
reinstating
my
your time. I'm reinstating your time.
All right, thank you. No, I have nothing else to say.
Okay. All right, that's
At
great. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for coming out and voting. We have, like Ed said, our next meeting is our budget meeting, December 1st. And then we have our regular meeting, which is the 8th of December, which should be a full evening. Okay, and enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your family, be safe, and we'll see you December 1st. That's it.